beautiful shining stars. So, today we're going to talk about when we have a relationship and we don't have a relationship with money. And I feel like this module alone, first of all, there's a workbook, right? But just in this video, I want you to realize this beautiful connection that you will have with money through this class. And I want you to really notice things. You're gonna notice things that before were like, I didn't know that, or wow, that makes sense. So let me get into creating a relationship with money, or maybe revamping your relationship with money. So no matter where you are with the energy of money right now, we're gonna fix what didn't serve you. Now, I want you to think about the relationships in your life. I want you to think about if you have a partner, if you have friends, if you have bosses, if you have parents, if you have siblings. I want you to think about all those relationships. And then I want you to think about the relationships that are estranged, the relationships that maybe you didn't have the best communication, or the vice versa, the person didn't have the best communication with you, and how you wanted to fix certain things in a relationship, but you couldn't because there was no compromise. There was no understanding. There was no sitting down and having those conversations, right? So these are just all different parts of a relationship. And if we don't build a relationship, if we are not able to fix a relationship, either the relationship comes to the end or you become estranged, right? Well, what if the same thing happens with money? What if money has wanted to build a relationship with you, and I call her she, and she has wanted to connect with you? I want you to go way back in time. And as a matter of fact, we're going to do a meditation. So I want you to think way back, right? All the way to the first time that you could remember, because, money has always been around, right? Your parents, your guardians, whoever took care of you as a child, they had a relationship with money. All that influences your relationship with money. Now, there is going to be an audio meditation about this with a workbook. So the whole thing for this class is we're gonna break down the barriers, and we're gonna rebuild your relationship with money, and we're using a frequency, a language for money always to stream into your life. Not only that, money comes in many forms. A lot of people, money think it's just, the green stuff, right? Or wherever you're from, right? But money now comes virtually. It comes through lands. It comes through gold and silver. It comes through exchanging of, what we're working on, there's just so many different ways that money enters our life. So I want you to be aware right now from this moment on, because as you take this course, as you progress and evolve, money is going to show up in so many ways, and she is going to test the relationship with you. And I'm going to share with you something. So these are pennies. These are pennies. And I'm going to share something with you. So I find confirmation when I'm asking for big money. I always find pennies, quarters, dimes, nickels on the floor. And I will pick them up and I say thank you. And let me tell you something that happened. One of the times I found a penny that was worth way more than a penny. And ever since then, I check all the pennies, because some pennies are worth a lot of money. You never know how things will unravel with money, because money is beautiful. She is divine. She is security. She is lavish. She is wealth. She is rich. She is happiness. She is joy. But we have been conditioned to see her in so many dark lights. then no wonder she doesn't want to have a relationship with us. And it wasn't until I realized all of this that I'm like, holy shit, I had to apologize to Money. I had to apologize to her because me and Money had a great relationship. We still do, right? I mean, now it's even flourishing even more because I revamped it, we rekindled, um, we're working on stuff together. So everything is energy, okay? Because that's one of the main things that I teach you in this class. You know, you could study Tesla, you could study, Watson, you could study all the greats, and they tell you everything is energy. Tesla says that actually Einstein talks about relativity being, the vibration and the frequency, through the energies to create everything, right? So just like we have a relationship with people, you are going to have a relationship with money. And nobody has to know about this relationship. This relationship is between you and money. I find that the best way to help people is to teach them. And that's what I do. So the best way, like once people start to notice, like, holy shit, Joe, you're doing awesome. The best way you could do is give them this class. What did you do, Joe? Here you go. I'm gonna pay it forward and I'm gonna gift you this class. You know, because I find that everybody needs to learn in their own way. I find that when you tell people do this and that or the other, they don't take you seriously. They have to be ready for this knowledge. You have to want to shift your vibration and your energy, because if not, it's not going to help you. You don't know how many times people come to me in dire situations. I give them all of my free stuff because they can't afford not even an $11 mini class or workbook or whatever, because they're in such dire situation. And then I still talk to them months later and they're still in that dire situation. It's because there is no relationship with money, and all they do is repeat that same story of I don't have, and I'm this, and they're cutting my light, and they're taking this away from you all the time, all the time, all the time. So even when you're everything being energy, everything that you're going through is kind of part of the past, and we're gonna talk about this right now in this module. So we're building a relationship with money, and we're going way back to see your first relationship with money, your first encounter with money. And then I'm going to show you how to love money and how to have that beautiful relationship where money loves you. Money absolutely loves you. But if you don't love her back, if you resent her, if she makes you feel guilty, if there's fear, if there's constant judgment. Like, think about a person. If you're constantly judging them, or making them feel guilty, or if you're resenting them because of XYZ, or you're just, they're not going to want to hang out with you. I know I wouldn't want to hang out with you. I'm not going to hang out with somebody that's judging me, making me feel guilty, and, telling me that I'm no good, or that I'm the root of all evil, or whatever it is that is constantly being shared about money. So one of my first encounters with money is that I grew up, we weren't poor, but we were lower middle class because my dad would spend a lot of money. So I had my mom that would hold a lot of money, like hold the money. Like, my mom loves to have, and I think that's why I like to have money in my house, because it just feels good to have that. So she always has thousands upon $1,000 in her purse, which was like, we're always like, Mom, you shouldn't have that. She's like, I'm protected, I'm taken care of, I don't have any issues. And it's true. My mom is protected and taken care of. She's never had any issues. She has thousands of dollars in her big Mary Poppins bag. But my dad would spend money. My dad was always very giving, but he's also very abundant. If he would spend $1,000, he would make $3,000. Like, so for being a lower middle class, because of the overspending, we were very lush. We had anything and everything we wanted to, until my dad started doing drugs and alcohol, and then of course things changed. But I was still able to see that aspect of money. But then I have an aunt, an uncle really, with cousins that are multimillionaires. $1 million houses, expensive cars. When we were going to their house, it was a lot of fun because they had the pools and the jet skis and all that stuff, but it was very strained. I remember one time I opened the fridge and I got water and a drop of water fell on the floor, and my uncle came running and screaming that, oh my God, that we wet the floor, and the floors, and this big thing about the floors, and it freaked us out. Like, you're screaming at me because a drop of water fell on the floor. Another time we were, watching a movie and we were sitting and popcorn fell on the carpet, and he just, you know, my cousin freaked out. Oh my God, if my dad sees that there's popcorn on the floor, he's going to have a fit. Blah, blah, blah. And they had maids. They had like 2 or 3 maids. So that relationship of money was to me like, oh, rich people are annoying. I don't want that. Why would I want a $1,000,000,000 house if I'm just going to be so stressed over fucking water on the floor? So, as a child, you're seeing all of these things and you're like, yeah, the jet skis are great, the pools are great, but that's not fun. So, I had all of these different kind of visions of money, right? And then when I was 13 or 14, one of my first job was sales. I used to sell magazines, and every week I would make a few $100s. And it was fun to me because as a young girl, I wanted just to go shopping. I wanted to buy cute clothes because I was, one of the in girls at school. We were like the Goonies because I'm an 80s girl. So just a lot of fun, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. We had the best of friends, and it was just awesome. Well, one of the issues was that since I was young, I didn't have an ID, so my mom would take the money. My mom would take the checks and she would cash them, and then she would hold my money. She didn't give me my money. She would hold it. I buy you everything anyways. That was the excuse. So that built another relationship. And then it got to the point that I said, well, I don't want to do this because what's the point of me working? My mom gets me anything anyways, and I can't hold my money. So then I stopped doing that. So it wasn't again until I got married and had my first son, that I started working again. And then the issue was that I would give my checks to my husband. Every time I would get paid, my husband would take my check. So I had no real control over money because my mom did that to me. She didn't allow me to have a relationship with money. So it took me a long time to build that relationship, to be responsible and saving. I mean, a very, very long time. And of course, my husband took advantage of that because I was always very abundant. Always, me and money, we were besties. One of my first real encounters, because I've always loved to do stuff for myself, one of my first real encounters was when I was like 18 or 19 years old. It was Valentine's. And I had a job. I had a 9 to 5. I worked literally Monday to Friday. And I think it might have been maybe Friday night. And it was Valentine's night. And my manager freaked out because I sold almost everything. And then there was a bunch of like stuffed animals and things left over. And I said, what are you going to do with all this stuff? And he's like, well, we're just going to store it till next year. Sometimes I just throw his stuff away. And I was like, oh my God, can I take it and sell it? And he's like freaking out. I mean, he already freaked out because like he was like, no matter what I buy, she sells it. Like I've always been really good at that. So I gathered 2 or 3 boxes full of like teddy bears and flowers and just, all the kind of Valentine goodies. And I went home and I told my husband, I'm going to sell this tonight. And I remember everybody made fun of me. My husband backed me up. He was like, okay, cool, I'm going with you. And that was my first real encounter with my own business. And that night I made over $500. And then when I went back to work the next day to give my manager the money, he couldn't believe that I sold almost everything. I literally brought back less than, like, it was just a couple things in one box, taking like 3 boxes full of stuff. And he's like, he couldn't believe it. So he told me, you know what? Put that box in storage. You could keep the money. Anyways, I probably wasn't going to sell it, so I wasn't going to give that stuff for 50% off or throw it away. You worked, you deserve it. So that was my first real encounter that money loves me. And money is a beautiful energy and vibration that wants to take care of you when you're grateful. And I've always been a very content and grateful person. So my friction happened with my mother-in-law because How do I explain it? Her relationship with money was very obsessive, very controlling, very, no matter how much you have, she wants more. And then I always felt that her money became salt because she never had anything. So no matter how much she worked, she started her own business. It was always, I can't buy this car because I don't have enough money. I can't do this. And then I knew that she had money. I knew that she made lots of money because she had her business. But her relationship was, I don't have enough. I don't know if she felt that people were trying to ask her for money. I don't know what the deal was. But I will tell you this. She ended because right now she's in her late 80s. She has full-blown dementia, Alzheimer's, and she doesn't have anything. Nothing. She ended up here in my house, barefoot and penniless. So fast forward all of these different relationships that I've had all my life with money, and I've been the type like anthropologist that I really see things through a whole other perspective, and I connect with spirit, and spirit is always sharing stuff with me. When I connect with money in the way that I'm sharing with you, money shows up in my life in such a beautiful, miraculous way. And, I was talking to my cousin. I was like, how is it that I'll get $200 and pay all my bills? And he's like, what? How is it that I am able to take X amount of money and distribute it in such a way that I'm able to take care of everything? Because of the expansion, because if everything is energy and our universe is mental, I'm able to take whatever I have and amplify it and expand it and multiply it. And it's just super crazy. Super crazy. And it might not make sense to you right now. I feel like this is like what is in the Bible when it says that Jesus fed a mass of people with a few fish and a pitcher of wine and up 2 pieces of bread or a loaf of bread. Because we're in an abundant universe. So the reason why there's so much scarcity is because people are projecting that, because that's all you hear on social media, on the news. Oh, we're running out of this, or we're running out of that, or there's not enough water. When I hear there's not enough water, I'm like, we're more water than anything else. So they want to keep us at a level of lack, of poverty, because that's the best way to control. How do you control people? By starving them, by keeping them insecure. Because if you are secure, if you are abundant, if you have more than, you're constantly thinking, you're constantly creating. Think about the Elon Musk and the Warren Buffett. Even though Warren Buffett is, yeah, but think about his wife, all the good things that she did. Think about Bill Gates' wife, all the good things that she's doing. So if you've already seen the workbook, you notice that there's like specific questions that I'm going to ask you. And of course, there's going to be videos over the workbook because I want you to really learn all of these steps and then incorporate them into your daily lives. But I want it to be a way that you're not just sitting down writing for hours or meditating for, I want it to be that you could be at a freaking supermarket the same way that I am. Close your eyes for a second or two and switch, And the reason that I know this works is because I also have switch words. You're going to be connecting with that language of money. But first, I want you to build a relationship. First, I want you to build, reconcile, because some people, some people get mad. Some people will throw the towel and be like, I guess, I'm going to give you another example. As being a spiritualist and following a lot of spiritual masters and gurus and all of that, there's a lot of confusion because everybody thinks that they're the master and everybody thinks that they know everything. The truth is, none of us, not even fucking me, that I'm sharing all of this with you. I share from my experience. I share what works. But if you find something better, if your spiritual intuition guides you to something better, do that, because we all have our truth, we all have our path, we all have our journeys. But so listen to numerologists and astrologists and all of these people, the near death people, everybody tells you that we have this kind of like, we chose to be here, right? Which I'm not gonna say that we didn't. So we chose to be here. This is a life experience. Some of us are just not meant to have money because that's what we signed up for. But then I look at the masters, at the great, great teachers like Jesus and Buddha, and one of the things that Jesus said was, one of the things that we are meant to do here is live heaven on earth. So if I'm to live my bliss and my heaven on earth, I need fucking money. Because hello, how am I supposed to pay for my house and my stuff and just live in happiness? And if not, I'm a homeless bum in the middle of the street. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't find that very happy. So I feel that maybe we do have like, my purpose is to be a teacher and to be a great mother and to be an even greater grandmother, and and to teach this stuff. But I don't feel that unless we do like, maybe like we'll say like, because I do believe in soul contracts, that sometimes you say things in past lives, or to kind of like declare negative things over you. But you could change that. You could change that. Nothing. Because of why? Because one of the biggest laws that we have in this lifetime is our free will. We have the choice to do whatever we want. That's why, unfortunately, you have people that do evil, because they have the choice to do evil. So when people are like, well, why God allows people to do evil, it's not that he allows, is that we have a choice. I have a choice tomorrow to become a serial killer, which sounds horrible. Can't believe I'm saying that. But I also have the choice to be Daisy, to teach you how to live in lavish luxuries, how to attain the wealth that you intend and desire and that you felt that you couldn't have until right now. So that was something that I had to rewrite, because that was kind of a story that has been shared with me so many times between my mother-in-law's bullshit, that I started to believe like, oh, well, I guess, I must have signed some paper up in heaven and said that I was going to be, and then no, because in all my research and all my study, and Spirit's like, no. So the different exercises, the different work, because you're going to work in this class that you're going to do, is to clear that bullshit, because it's all bullshit. It's all lies. It's all lies that others have been telling you to keep you at some kind of plateau, at just enough. But I witness people going from nothing to everything. I witnessed myself going from nothing to so much in a matter of weeks, in a matter of months, in a matter of years. It's insane to me. And one of the things I'm building upon, constantly building, because I've been building my money relationship with money, I ordered it. I feel like in 2017. And before that, it was clearing all the fear. Because one of the things I shared on my Patreon was, I remember when I wanted my first $10,000 client, it was surreal to me to think someone was going to pay me $10,000, because I couldn't see someone first having that amount of money to just give to someone like myself to do work for them. So I had to clear that undeserving, because that's what happens. And then money's like, girl, you deserve this. You're fucking awesome. So it took a lot of affirmations, work through to clear that. And I'm still working. This is stuff that has been, I'm 49. So this is a lot of years of a lot of garbage embedded into my subconscious, into my DNA, that is a constant on replay. Even now I'll have moments that it's like that doubt will come in and I have to shut it out. I have to cancel that, which I will teach you in this class. So money loves me. Money loves me because I love money. Because I am grateful of her presence. and we have a beautiful relationship. And I express to her how much I want, and she always gives me overflow. She always gives me more than I ask for because she is so gracious. She's so loving. She's so giving. And I am receptive and I am deserving. So sometimes we just have to get into that kind of space where we feel that we deserve, because money is abundance, is infinite. Money, when people tell you that there's not enough money, and I looked at there's billions of people, and I've shared this over and over because I want you, sometimes repetition is the only way that we learn. Money is people, because money is good in services. I provide a service in exchange for money. Think about the billions of people on this planet providing services. So money is infinite. Infinite. So don't let anybody tell you, no newscaster, that there's no. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. So take it all in. And I want you to go back, and one of the things that I'm going to be asking this, and you could do this prior to the meditation, is what happened? What happened between you and money? I want you to think about that. And like I said, with me, it was the sense my mother would cash the checks and she would hold my money. I really didn't build a relationship with money. I knew how to connect with her and attract her and make lots of her. But then I would always have somebody else control it. It wasn't until even almost my 40s, 30s, mid 30s, early 40s that I actually started to have an actual back and forth relationship with money. And then I had to learn a lot because I didn't know about credit. I didn't know about saving. I didn't know about taxes. I didn't know about anything because unfortunately this stuff is not taught in school. So if your parents are not teaching this to you, you're not going to get it. So hence forward motion, these are the things that you want to share with your kids. How to have this relationship with money. So you want to know what happened with it, with your relationship with money, and was it positive or negative? Because these are all things that are going into the meditation that we're working on, and the legwork. And you could write this down and share it and just get it out, or you could express it. I don't want you to feel that your homework has to be all written. I like the written because there's so much power in handwriting. Some people type, some people have notes on their phones. You do it whichever way feels more comfortable to you, because I know a lot of you are here and you're working. I have a client that does 60 to 80 hour work weeks, and I'm just like, holy shit, do you sleep? It's crazy to me. How did money make you feel? How did money make you feel? I would have mixed emotions with money because oh my God, maybe my journey or my karma or whatever, all this mumble jumble that people try to embed and try to sound like they know and they share with you, and then you feel this is the truth. So in my many, many, many years of studying, of learning, of expansion, connecting with the divine spirits, I learned how to clear, and we're going to be used divine Kabbalistic languages of money to shift the vibration. I have the I think it's number 42, if I'm not mistaken. I was, because of my dyslexia. It's Samic Aleph Lamed. Holding a specific vibrations and energies, and I'm going to have those in meditations. You don't have to do anything crazy. All you have to listen and just allow that energy to engulf you and clear any cords, any attachments, any negative energies. And something that we talked about in my scripting class, and then I will cut this video here, that we were sharing in the scripting class, is when other people send you energy also impacts you. So if they're sending you positive energy, it impacts you positive. If they're sending you negative energy, it also impacts you. So in this class, you're going to learn how to be in a state of light where those negative energies do not impact you. You know, think about the Trumps. How much negative energy does Trump have? And he's still a multi-billionaire. And even because he's lost his money, he always makes it back. Why? Because he has his relationship with money. In his subconscious, his family, they're all billionaires. They're not even millionaires. That's like not status for them. So another confirmation that we have what we intend and we desire, because we are all energy and frequency. You could be a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire. It is the number that you resonate with and that you feel is what you want. And that's why we did that in the beginning, because I wanted you to pick a number that you were comfortable with. A number that's like, oh my gosh, once I, not once, because I don't want to say once I have, because that's bullshit, but having this number is going to open up this, that, and that. Having this number is going to take me from this to that. And then it's also what that's going to do is also synchronize the events, because past, let's retro to maybe 2.5 years from today, I wasn't really doing classes and courses. And it was me telling Spirit back in like 2021, hey, I'm doing too much work for my clients. They're driving me fucking nuts. I love the money. I had my first 6 figures in 2021 was my first 6 figures. And I was like fucking loving it, but I was drained. Sometimes I was going to sleep at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, exhausted and feeling guilty because I still had work that I hadn't done. And, I had 20, 30 people all messaging me at the same time, all days and nights. Sometimes some of them had my phone number, so they would call me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because of the different time frames. And I thought I was going to go crazy. So then it's acknowledging not only the number, because 6 figures is beautiful, but then it's also the lifestyle. I want to have 7 figures. I'm over the 6 figures. 6 figures is sweet, but I'm going now. I want the 7 figures, but I want it this way. I don't want it in a way that I'm talking to 20 clients, drive me crazy. So then synchronize energy. So Daisy, talk to the masses. Courses, classes. You already do it, because I was already doing it through my books. I was already doing it with my YouTube channel that I've had since 2007. But I didn't realize it until it showed up. And then everything's unraveling. I started finding like-minded people. I started finding other successful course creators that were making the millions of dollars and learning from them and incorporating their success and aligning it with what I'm creating. And it's quite lovely. So when you're doing this, let's say that you're in a 9-to-5, and your 9-to-5 makes you, let's say, $100,000 a year, because nowadays $100,000 a year is really nothing. But because of everything, so the prices are higher, right? But it's still sweet. It's still very sweet. So let's say you're making $100,000 a year, but you're like thinking about, I want to retire when I'm 40, or I want to retire when I'm 55, or whatever, right? Well, in order for me to retire at 55, I need to, then you're going to calculate. You're calculating. I know, because I'm doing this because hence I'm 49. So I'm thinking about our retirements and stuff, right? So in order for me to retire at this age, if I live 10, 20, 30 years, I need to have this amount of money. So then I need to have, so then I'm like, but I love to work, right? So I want to be able to constantly do my stuff, my work, my books and stuff that brings me passive income, that I'm not overworking myself, and that's how I've been co-creating it since 2021, when I had that synchronized energy. And that's what's going to happen to you, because you're working the 9-to-5, and then Spirit's going to share with you an idea. So you have to be on the lookout, because you never know how it's going to show up. For me, it showed up also through courses. Who was the course that I saw? I think it might have been Mind Valley or Amanda Francis, or one of them or both of them. And it was looking at their structure, looking at, like, vision from Mind Valley. Started with zero. He lost everything because he decided he didn't want to work the 9 to 5. He was like, I was doing good because I was making, I think he said he was like making 200,000 or 250,000 a year way back when, but it wasn't fulfilling him. He was working his ass off. And then he's like, I want to give more, and hence push forward. Mind Valley is one of the biggest platforms for classes and courses, all spiritual. Beautiful, beautiful. Like, if you want to invest in something for, like, with different mentors and stuff like that, Mind Valley is great. It's $100 or $200 a month for the membership. So yeah, it's a little pricey, but it's beautiful because you're constantly working. And if you don't want to pay a month, and it's fine. So he's very open to that. So the point is that even if you're doing a 9 to 5, the creative, I call them the creative angels and fairies, the muses, they will show up and bless you, and they will say, hey Joe, how about starting a Airbnb? Or how about, hey, you like to bake, Joe, how about doing classes about baking? You never know. You just never know what creative ideas will flow to you. Even when I do readings, through the readings, sometimes I share ideas with my clients, and at the moment they don't do them, and then they'll message me like years later and be like, Daisy, you remember that reading? And of course I won't remember. You told me about that book that I was going to do with the puppets, because this really happened, by the way. Because I had a client was on a fixed income, and she had babies, and she had, like, it was like very, like, her, the way, like, she homeschooled them and did everything for them. So I think she created almost like a puppet type of thing to teach the kids, like, especially the little ones, and she created a business from it. Watch Shark Tank. Like, you just never know where your inspirational idea will manifest from. You just have to be aware. Just like, hence, let's going back to the pennies, finding the pennies. When I ask for big amounts and I find coins on the floor, always ask confirmation from money. That's her message to me, is like, Daisy's on his way. Here's a little gift. And then I always look them up, because you never know how much they're worth. So I hope this has brought a lot of insights. Thank you for being part of this class. I'm super excited about this class. Super excited about this class. And the cool thing about this class is it's going to continue to relaunch. I'm going to continue to add stuff to it. And you, as a paid participant, are always going to have this class. So I'll see you in the next mod. Namaste.